Shall we start now? Yeah, it's 12:05. Yeah, maybe let's get started. All right, everyone. So welcome to HKBU virtually online. This is Dr. Jason Ho from the Center for Innovative Service Learning. So welcome to this webinar titled Service Learning at HKBU, Innovation and Community Connectedness. So today here with us, apart from me, myself, we have also got a student representative, Mr. Sunny Jong. So would you like to say hi first, Sunny?
Hi everyone.
Yeah, this is Sunny. So he is from the Department of Government and International Studies. Also with us here are my two colleagues, the director of our center, Dr. Lisa Lam, and also another colleague of mine, Joey. So the four of us here will be very happy here to meet you today and also to answer questions from you towards the end of the webinar. All right. So during my presentation, if you have got any questions, feel free to leave them in the Q&A. We have a Q&A box, right? Okay. So feel free to leave questions over there. Now, so for those of you who are coming in today, I suppose you might have already read the description of today's webinar that I have put down here. So of course, I won't be reading out the whole thing. At the very beginning, I will be introducing what service learning is, which is something quite new or even totally new to secondary school students. So if you have no idea what it is, actually it's good that you are here because we are going to tell you something about it, about our service learning courses, some of our programs and activities. The second part will be, I will be passing the time to Sunny, who will be sharing with us some of his experience in taking service learning courses and joining service learning activities. And towards the end, you can actually see from both Lisa's and Joey's background, something very bright in orange color. That's actually our co-working space called Triangle. So this is also something that I will be introducing towards the very end. All right, so this will be the three parts of our webinar today. Now, so to begin with, as I mentioned just now, service learning might be something totally new to you. So just let me give you a very brief introduction at the beginning. So obviously, service learning consists of two main parts: service and learning. Now, for service, I'm sure as secondary school students, you might have participated in different type of service activities in your leisure time, be it maybe flag selling on Saturday or maybe joining some elderly homes for different kind of service. So as you can imagine, services in brief will be those activities that benefit and show our care to the community. All right. Very often when we talk about service learning, we are so much concerned with the community. All right, which explains the topic of our webinar, community connectedness. We would like students to actually get connected to the community, precisely through their learning. Now, for the learning part will be how you, if you are taking a service learning course, are going to apply what you learn in the classroom. It could be some skill sets, it could be some theories, it could be some knowledge that you might find at the very beginning, not very really related to our society, but then owing to our arrangements that you are going to get in touch with the community. And you are going to build up something very important called empathy. All right, so you will be knowing how different people in our community, in the society, are not necessarily suffering, but maybe experiencing something, all right, that you would like actually to get in touch with them. It could be poverty, it could be the kind of different situations or hardships, all right, that they are facing. You might observe that something is missing, all right, on your screen right now between service and learning, which is the hyphen. Now, it's not necessarily an English or grammatical problem or mistake, all right? Actually, the hyphen between service and learning is very significant in terms of how we actually place equal importance, equal significance, all right, to the two parts, all right? So despite the fact that service learning consists of both service and learning, all right, they have no hierarchy, we have no such thing, all right, that the service part is more important than the learning part or vice versa. All right, so they are equally important. Now, so I hope this very brief intro we have already give you a sense of what service learning is. Actually, different scholars, different researchers, educationists have already been researching into service learning as what we call a pedagogy, a teaching and learning method. So just to give you a sense of what scholars have to say, all right, so very similar to what I've mentioned just now, all right, it's about connecting and integrating service with academic learning, placing equal emphasis on the two of them, all right, and how the whole pedagogy, the whole education method is going to benefit to both you as students and also the community. One thing that I didn't mention just now will be, apart from the very fact that it's going to address different human needs, community needs, one very key point of service learning will be what we call reflection. All right, so when you finish a certain service activity, you don't simply leave. All right, you actually will go back to the classroom, do a presentation, make a blog, you name it. All right, to actually document that particular experience, reflect on it, all right, to see how it is relevant or maybe at some instance irrelevant, all right, to your learning experience. All right, so both matter. All right, so reflection will be something very significant, all right, in service learning. So basically put in a nutshell, these are the three components or three main steps in service learning. Applying the academic knowledge that you learn in a certain course, trying to apply that to a certain service activity, and last but not least, like what I mentioned just now, to reflect upon that particular experience, all right, by doing different kind of activities, presentations, creating a website, etc. Now, so you might be wondering, so I am entering HKBU or any university, all right, precisely wanting to learn more from my professors, learn more from different theories in my classroom learning, all right, so why on earth would I have to leave the classroom, all right, to get in touch in the world? Now, that's precisely what I would like to bring out next. According to a lot of different researchers, service learning actually benefits at least three parties. The instructor, what we call the community partners, and of course you as students. Now, so we don't have teachers listening to this seminar today, all right, but just to let you know, even according to our findings, a lot of teachers, professors, told us, all right, that after engaging in service learning, their teaching quality is being enhanced. We usually say that their curriculum, their syllabus, etc., is being spiced up. All right, so they actually find more interest in teaching their students and also engaging in a course that they might have been teaching for years. All right, so that will be kind of like the benefit of the instructor part. As for different community partners, which could be an elderly home, a secondary school, a certain NGO, what we call non-government organization, etc. Of course, our students, you perhaps in the future, will help them develop meaningful projects. Very often they told us, all right, that they really appreciate the kind of new ideas or fresh minds, all right, in their words from university students, all right. So this is the that benefits, all right, from the community partners. As for students, which is extremely important, will be to build up the kind of awareness. Now, we never want to simply hide ourselves in what we call the ivory tower. All right, so we really nowadays would like to actually push university students to the real world, all right, to get in touch with real life issues, all right, and to see the kind of relevance, see the kind of relationship between what they have learned in the classroom to real life issues. And one thing even more important that you might wish to know will be, according to a lot of researchers, actually engaging in service learning help students with building up with their CV, their resume. All right, so it actually increases their competitiveness and what we call employability. All right, so from this little picture, you will be able to tell, all right, that by engaging in service learning, that actually benefits, all right, to different parties in a certain academic course. Now, so up to this point, you might be wondering, wow, service learning actually sounds something very similar, all right, to what I have done before. Now, at secondary school, I'm not sure whether you have done internship previously, okay, which is on the right-hand side of this arrow. But then I'm sure a lot of you might have done voluntary work before, all right, on the left-hand side of the arrow. Now, but guess what? This is precisely something that whenever we introduce service learning to any parties, we precisely tell them that service learning is neither internship nor voluntary job. All right. So what would be the reasons behind? Let me give you an example. This is actually one of, I would really put it this way, one of our trademark courses, all right, trademark service learning courses offered by our center, a course called Food Analysis, which is a chemistry course. All right, I'm not sure whether we have chemistry students here, but then imagine this course. All right, is about food analysis. So students learn in the classroom how they are going to analyze food, their nutrition's value, whether different kinds of food are safe to eat, etc. All right, so without service learning, that's it. All right, nothing else. If imagine a certain voluntary service is attached to the course. It will be, for instance, arranging students to collect unsold bread from bakery, all right, and then to distribute them to different people. It could be jealous, it could be homeless people, or those who are in the elderly home, all right, and that's it. All right, that's it. So very often we will say that people just feel good, all right, and leave the place, and that's all. Now, but as for service learning, there's a slight difference, all right? And actually, I shouldn't say a slight difference. As you can tell, all right, it's quite a big difference in the sense that after students collect the unsold bread, they will use their classroom knowledge, all right, according to them, what they call microbiome analysis, all right? So actually to test the bread, whether it's safe to eat, whether it meets certain standard, etc. And then to distribute to different people, and last but not least, remember what I mentioned at the very beginning, to reflect on their experience. All right, now, so you can see and you can tell that the entire package, when service learning is inserted in a certain course, things will be totally different. And of course, very importantly, given an extra value to academic learning, and of course, even more significantly, hopefully to build a sense of empathy in students. Now, so in the following, I would like to maybe because different students coming into listening to this webinar today, coming from different backgrounds. So I would like to use a few different courses from different departments and faculties of HKBU to actually highlight some of our service learning courses. Actually, for service learning, there are at least four types. What we call direct and indirect service, and also research project and advocacy activities. Now, for direct service, actually simply from the name, all right, it's actually kind of self-explanatory, all right. It's about how students get in touch directly with what we call the service users. Just take for instance the course that I mentioned just now, food analysis. You can see actually the two students on the screen, and also on the left will be the teacher, literally connecting with the community. All right, so they collect unsold bread from different bakery shops, all right, and then distribute them, all right, to people who need them. All right, one example. Another two examples are also from science, biology, all right, and also another department, sports. As you can tell, on your left will be this teacher connecting university students to actually you guys, to secondary school students. Secondary school students actually had the chance to come to university laboratories, all right, to work on enzyme fragmentation, things related to biology. And we actually receive a lot of very positive and, to tell the truth, rewarding comments, all right, saying that secondary school students saying that after visiting such a big laboratory at HKBU, they would like to study harder, all right, in order to enter university. All right, so another type of direct service, getting in touch directly with, in this case, secondary school students. As for the sports program, as you can tell from the picture, all right, it will be our sports students designing different type of light exercise that are suitable for the elderly people. All right, they actually went to different elderly homes to launch these activities, and the elderly are really happy. All right, that the youngsters were able to play with them, talk to them, etc. All right, so another very typical example of direct service. For this, all right, as you might know that HKBU is really famous for one of its school, all right, School of Chinese Medicine. So this will be cases in which, for instance, our Chinese medicine students apply their professional knowledge in terms of consultation or what we call toina, all right, some kind of like Chinese massage, all right, to, again, in this case, people in elderly home. Last but not least, all right, this is another very good example. This now for those of you who are into Canton pop, Cantonese popular music, you might know this actually very famous lyricist called Zhao Yufei. So he, guess what, is actually a faculty member of HKBU from the Department of Humanities and Creative Writing. So he has this really famous course called Chinese Lyrics Writing. And before the insertion of service learning into his course, all right, he simply allow his students to write basically anything, all right, basically any piece of lyrics. But after integrating service learning, this example will be 2 years ago, students actually wrote songs on some underprivileged people or marginalized people about in the society, all right, and write about them, all right, about their suffering, about their experience, all right, and then that particular experience in being narrated into the form of a song, all right, and actually they held a concert towards the end, and the service users, the interviewees, were also invited to the concert. All right, so the kind of community impact is really huge, all right, in these kind of examples, all right, really building the kind of connections to the society. All right, now, so this is what we call direct service. This is actually another example. You actually see Sunny, all right, our student rep here on the left. So I will skip this part, all right, and let him talk more about his experience getting in touch with secondary school students, all right, in a course called Model European Union, all right. Now, as for indirect service, I think for those of you, all right, who are still listening here, okay, definitely can be able to tell, all right, that in contrast to direct service, for indirect service will be how students, okay, working on different projects, which might not be able to get in touch with the real clients, real service users, all right, but still they are contributing to the society. For instance, we have a course from the Department of Journalism called Data Visualization. All right, so they work with different NGOs or social enterprise to help them turn maybe very dull data into something visually stimulating, visually pleasant, all right, so that more people will know about, for example, different social issues. All right, so again, this is something extremely significant, all right, in today's world, okay, when things like technology, science, all right, are high flying. All right, indirect service. This is another example also from the Department of Government and International Studies. In this case, will be how students actually went to prepare lunch boxes, all right? And these lunch boxes are made from unwanted vegetables. Right now, so students might not be directly contacting the service users, all right, but then they are also in that particular process, helping an NGO called Food Angel, all right, to actually process this unwanted food. And last but not least will be what we call research and also efficacy project. Again, you see, okay, so Sunny is literally everywhere. You also see Sunny here, actually right in the middle of the screen, dressing up in this pink dolphin outfit. All right, it's about actually they together with other students from a course come up with a very interesting advocacy project. All right, so you can tell, all right, how students have been really enjoying different types of service learning courses and activities. All right, now, so I think at this point, I've spoken a lot. it's really a good chance for us to actually listen to the kind of really literally first-hand experience from a student's perspective. So may I now pass the time to Sunny, all right, so that he can share with us, all right, his experience in service learning. Sunny, please.
Yes, thank you, Jason. Hi, everyone. I'm Sunny. I'm having my final year at the Government International Studies at HKBU. So I think some of my stories may give all of you a better understanding about the service learning on our campus. I think service learning is a very great thing that it is eye-opening. And before entering HKBU, I was just like most of you, an ordinary high school student who was not really connected with the society. Let's think about when I was in the high school, I had limited time, just like what you guys have, and I had to study hard in order to fight for better results in HKDSE, just like what you guys are doing now. And how was I supposed to have extra time to do extra things for our society, like caring the people in need? Yeah, of course, you and I know that doing voluntary work for society is meaningful. And we must all know that we can also learn some things while doing the work. But do we have the motivation to do it? Let me ask you, have you ever cared about the people surrounding you? Maybe your friends, your family. Yeah, maybe you did. But how about your neighbors or the people in need in your society, like the ethnic minority group or the little orphans with their parents? Do you really talk to them or have some kinds of connection with them? You know that they always need help, and you are supposed to be the one who can provide hands to them because you are now going to be university students, the future leader of our society. So I really appreciate the element of service learning at HKBU because this idea makes my university life much more meaningful. It is like a pushing force, and it actually provides a convenient way for students to bear more social responsibility that Hong Kong students should have. We can now care more about different things apart from only carrying the knowledge we learn from the PowerPoint slides. Maybe some of you will feel like service learning may be stressful because it may cost more work for you to do in a course. Frankly, I also have similar feeling before taking the service learning courses. But after taking some of the courses, I can tell you that this worry is certainly unnecessary because the session of the service learning is in a course is usually full of fun. Normally, it will be something like a group social project in relation to the things you have learned in the course. Every course has different kinds of social projects, but it is basically like you need to apply your professional knowledge in a real life project. The professor has planned everything for you. So what you need to do is just follow the guidelines in the course, and then you can get a good grade. For example, I took a course about the Hong Kong politics, just like the picture you saw. And the professor divided us into groups of 8 people, and our task was to carry out a campaign or a mini social event to raise the public awareness regarding some problems we have learned in the course. Technically, we could do all the things we want. Like if we would care about the tortoise, then we can just carry out an event for the tortoise. And if we care about the dolphins, then we can do something to save the dolphins. And as you can see, and from the picture that Jason showed you before, the topic of my group was actually about the dolphins. So after the group discussion, we bought some dolphin costumes and then wore them in a public area to deliver some leaflets we made in order to tell people about the marine problem that the dolphins are facing. Actually, the workload was pretty low, as you can think about. 8 people to finish one campaign. It sounds pretty easy, right? And the costumes we bought and the leaflets that we printed were totally paid by the university that students did not need to pay any bucks. During our campaign, we had so much fun, and we were really satisfied because many people came to take pictures with us and talk with us. And listen, what's more is that at the end, after this campaign, we all got a very good grade in terms of the social project. And I'm sure you will enjoy your future service learning courses as well. Have fun with that and have a good grade with your group mates. Apart from that, the service learning project can let you make more friends because it is the most interactive moment in the course. It is more easy for students to get along with each other. For example, when I took the course of the Model European Union, I made lots of friends, including my classmates and the service targets as well. In this course, each of our students pairs up with a buddy who is in ethnic minority group in Hong Kong. And what we need to do in this course is to finish a project with our buddy regarding the European political situation. They were actually high school students only, but they tried their very best to study with us. So the buddies were like our partner at that time. We read the documents together, did the research together, and did the presentation together. And during the partnership, we always talk and took care of each other, that we were so close. So you can see in the picture now, that actually is my buddy, and he's looking at me while I'm doing the presentation for our group. And the service learning courses can certainly link you with others to have a good friendship and to have more people to give likes to your picture on Instagram, if this means a thing to you, because we will of course exchange our contact personally, yeah. And there are many advantages brought by the service learning, and that's why it is now highlighted as HKBU. Our university does not only organize the service learning courses, but also some workshops and seminars about the service learning so that more students can benefit from this idea. Sometimes I will also be the ambassador to help my university organize some service learning events. There are many different kinds of events, so here's my advice. Make sure you stay close with the CISL, the Center for Innovative Service Learning at HKBU, when you are studying here, so you won't miss anything about the service learning. Actually, the more I work for the service learning, the more I believe it is the right way for our students' personal development. Service learning is not only showing your love to others, but also a chance for you to learn how to love and care about others in a proper way. It is a win-win situation, good to both service target and the service provider, that is you. Because service learning can let you learn something that a professor cannot tell you in a lecture room. For example, maybe you can learn the word empathy, EMPATHY, on your book in the lecture room, but only service learning can let you fully understand what is empathy and how to show your empathy to others in a right way. It is an ability to understand others and so as to give proper responses to them. Without service learning, our students may probably be alert only with the academic knowledge, but without ability to take care of others psychologically or physically. You can be a better person after doing service learning, and I'm glad that I can be one of the students helping to promote this idea on my campus. Last but not least, I sincerely hope that all of you can try to have service learning and benefit from it. It is always not too late to learn to care about others. And this is the end of my sharing, and now I will pass the time back to Jason. Thank you so much, guys.
You have muted yourself, Jason.
Hi, I'm back. Am I back? Okay, good. So thanks a lot, Sunny, for your sharing. Now, you might find him kind of selling our program, our activities, but guess what? It's really tip of the iceberg. We have done a lot of surveys, what we call post-service surveys, and actually the feedback from students were really, really good. All right, so they really appreciate the chance, all these extra opportunities to take service learning activities. All right, so I'm glad, all right, that we have Sunny here today to share with us his firsthand experience. Now, to wrap up a little bit, I'm not sure whether you will be thinking about this. In the past, I think like 8 to 9 months, because of COVID-19, all right, you can imagine, all right, that because service learning is all about getting in touch with the community, connecting, all right, with the community and the society. So you might be asking or wondering, all right, so what have you guys been doing, all right, during COVID-19? Now, as you know that, all right, COVID-19 is really, all right, both a local and a global crisis, all right. I'm sure all of us, all right, who suffer from it, all right, know that pretty well. Now, but then I'm sure if you have visited other booths, what other virtual booths today, all right, you will be hearing from different units, different departments that HKBU is a caring university. We take pride in calling ourselves and branding ourselves, all right, as having one very important DNA, so to speak, which is caring. And that's why during COVID-19, apart from some of the courses and projects and how different instructors, all right, actually turn them into different online modes, etc. We together with different units set up a campaign called Beat the Virus, BUNI. It's actually, the website is still active. We are still adding things into it. And we actually argue that despite the fact that we have to remain socially distant from each other, it doesn't mean, all right, that we have to pause or stop being empathetic to others. All right, so just to give you a few examples here. For instance, we collaborate with the French Chamber Foundation, trying to raise money and also raise, for example, different necessary sanitary products for what we call the working poor. All right, people who despite the fact that they are working, all right, they are still having very low wages, etc. All right, so this is one of the projects. Another one would be this one. All right, remember I mentioned the course offered by the lyricist, Dr. Chow Yufai. We actually transformed some of the songs written by the students into music videos, all right, to pay tribute to different people who have been working really hard and actually extra hard during the pandemic, be it the nurses, taxi drivers, and also security guards. All right, and some of these videos are also available online. So if you're interested, you can take a look at them. And our own unit, I mean, the Center for Innovative Service Learning, we also did this really meaningful initiative. All right, we had a mass donation campaign, and we actually, during that really severe shortage of masks in February, we actually had this campaign, all right, and raise a lot of masks, all right, and donate them to different organizations, different units, okay, which is again something meaningful. Recalling to what I mentioned just now, all right, that despite the fact that people are being socially distant from each other, our work of empathy, all right, did not stop at all. Last but not least, all right, this is the point that I mentioned at the very beginning. Now, as you can imagine, entering university, all right, especially HKBU, is going to be a totally different experience from what you had in your secondary school life, all right? And you might have heard from other universities that they have things like what we call learning commons, all right? So different massive areas that actually let students gather to study, to work hard, etc. Now, but in this particular co-working space is actually different from a learning common. All right, actually, guess what? We brand it as precisely not a learning common. This co-working space called Triangle. In a minute, I will be telling you what Triangle actually means. Is what we call a co-working space. All right. So in this particular space, we hope that students come in, not just to study. All right, not just to work, but then they come to create. All right, or they come to co-create. All right, to work with different students, to work with their professors. All right, to jam ideas, to network through creativity, all right, and collaborations. Now, simply from these two pictures, all right, you might find it, wow, it might be just another space, all right, that you have seen before. Now, so why don't I give you a very brief virtual tour, all right, of this co-working space. All right, now, so let me share the screen, all right, of another page, all right, and I will bring you to our, here, there we go, all right. All right, just to make sure, am I showing the virtual tour now? Okay, now, so it's loading. Now, there we go. All right, so this is our co-working space called Triangle. Now, it's called Triangle for a very special reason. Let me click on it. About our name. As you may be able to guess, all right, it sounds similar to what? To try and go. All right, so triangle try and go. We hope that students can come to this space, all right, to try out their innovative ideas and also to go with their ideas, all right. So these ideas might not be able to work well at the very beginning, all right, but through interactions, through collaborations with different students, all right, we hope that eventually, okay, they can work out different ideas. Now, I know my colleagues, all right, are also showing you the link, all right, to this virtual tour. But in any case, all right, now, so let me move to some of this space, all right, to show you the entire space. Now, at this point, all right, we have some exhibitions going on here. Let me give you a closer look. Now, you see some whiteboards here, right? Now, so these whiteboards, all right, as we mentioned here, they are movable. All right, so all the tables and chairs are movable and you can form your own space. All right, precisely. All right, that's related really to creativity. All right, that we don't want to be bound by the physical place. All right, it's a co-working space after all. Now, so let's get closer, all right, and see some of our furniture, all right, is actually designed by our own students, all right, from AVA, Academy of Visual Arts. Also, we have got here music, all right, made by our own music students, all right, so you can listen to them, all right, when you feel stressed in the space, etc. All right, so these are some of the exhibits, all right, that we have right now. Is also a space for different exhibitions of our service learning courses, all right, so that students can also display their work here. All right, now, so of course, the basic service here, all right, this is the counter, etc. All right, so we hope that one day we can welcome you all to this space called Triangle, all right, and then you will be able to have a sense, all right, of what a co-working space is. All right, now, so much for the virtual tour. Let me go back to my PowerPoint slide, all right, to say a few final words. All right, I have to stop share and let me share another screen, all right, of the PowerPoint slide. All right, there we go. Okay, so this is our website, our email, our Facebook, and I know you guys, okay, belonging to the really young generation, most of you use Instagram, all right, rather than Facebook, all right. So that's why I actually enlarged our Instagram here. Follow us, all right, so that you can get all these updates from us about our programs, about our activities, all right. And if after listening to this webinar, you have got any questions, of course, for those of you who are here right now, let us know by typing questions in the Q&A box. And if you are actually listening to this webinar, not on the info day, all right, feel free to email us anytime, all right. And our website is actually contains all the comprehensive information that you need, all right, about our center. All right, so thank you very much. I will stop here, all right, and I will see if you guys have got any questions for us. All right, so thank you very much, and we really hope that one day we'll be meeting you not virtually, but physically at HKBU. Thank you very much.